Once again, good morning, everyone. Trust we all had a wonderful night. Last night, we were able to kick off the training session with the introduction to BIM, the reason we are undergoing this training in the first place, and what each of these softwares is all about, why you need all of these softwares. And we try to make you understand that BIM itself is a process and not a software. Okay. Then we're able to look at how we can apply all of these softwares together to make sure that we have an interoperable environment or a work setup. Because all the softwares that you're going to learn during the course of these programs, they are not independent of each other. They are operable. You can't just say you want to learn Revit and not learn Primavera or not learn Excel. You are doing a great disservice to yourself. You can't say you want to learn Plan Swift, and you don't want to learn Revit, you don't want to learn this or that. That is because you have to make use of them together. They are in symmetry. So you're going through the first stage, which is Revit, down to Primavera, and as you proceed to the other softwares. This is to allow you understand the full process, the full spectrum of this process. So that is why this program encompasses more than one software, and they are all important for you to make sure you know how to use them. And it's not something you get to do overnight, but something you get to understand with consistent practice. Yeah, it may be hard for many of us to transition, but it is something we have to make sure that we transition fully into a digital workspace setup. So no matter how hard it is, you have to try to practice and practice. So once again, my name is Kozim Mohammed Ali Dolapo. I'm the founder of the Academy for Digital Learning and Mastery Studios, ADLM. And we are into trainings on BIM softwares and construction softwares also. I'm a trained quantity surveyor also. So yeah, let's move into today's session, which is a continuation from where we stopped yesterday night. Yeah, this is Autodesk Revit interface. For those that have installed the software already, I'm sure you should see something like this by now, where you have the home page. This is what the home page look like. And I explained that on this model's aspect is where we have the recent files. So it opens up the most recent 10 to 20 files, depend on how big your screen is and the families also. So you can refer back to yesterday's session to understand more about this page here. Now let's open up, create a new file. Now open. For those that are new here, just to open up, you click on open here. So if you click on open here, is to open an existing project. So any project that is not on this recent page here, I want to open it. Just click on open. It opens your documents. That's your file explorer, and you pick the project and just click on open here. And make sure they are all RVT files, Revit files. Once click on open there, it allows you to open RVT files. Take note of that. That's our Revit files. But for now, we'll be starting a new project. So that was new. Remember, we'd make use of metric architectural templates, projects. Yeah, okay. It takes a bit of time to respond because it's a very heavy software, actually. Okay, we are good. Now, we'll pick up from where we stopped yesterday. I explained yesterday that we have the tabs up here and the ribbons down here. Okay, those are tabs and ribbons. I'll come to the insert tab. We're able to discuss the first 5 tabs yesterday. Now, under these inserts, this is where we point surveyors would mostly work with or BIM managers, because at this stage you'll be linking various models from either your architect, your structural engineer, and your mechanical or systems engineer. Now, on this under insert here, we have the first ribbon aspect, which is link. Now we can always link a Revit file. Now let's quickly try that. Once you click on this link here and you have an existing model, it opens up your file explorer. So I'm linking this simple project here. Let me just quickly link this concept design. Okay, let me just quickly open this up. So once you click on link here, it links it. So once you get your drawing or design or model from the architects or any other person, and you want to create your own separate file, you don't want to tamper with the architect's design. What you do at that stage is to link the model. So you see the way it is here, it is not the model itself, it's a linked model where you can use for your clash detection and analysis. So you can now link the structural design and the systems models also. So you can link as many models as possible into your single Revit file. So that is what link Revit is for. Now, the other advantage of link Revit is the link option allows your models to be live. I will explain more on that as we proceed very soon. Now let's look at the next option, also link IFC files. I explained yesterday that IFC file is the standard of design that has been put into place by the ISO. That's the International Standard Organization. There is 19650. So that's to allow software developers to develop softwares that can easily collaborate and can work within all softwares easily. For example, if you are in a project team that the architects or the lead designer uses SketchUp, you won't have to tell him that, oh, you're using SketchUp, you did all your designs and models, and it's not easy to complete an information-rich model. Now, you created a very detailed model with SketchUp or ArchiCAD, and you are using Revit. You want them to go and redesign using Revit. All he has to do is convert his models from either the ArchiCAD file or the SketchUp file into an IFC file. Now, this IFC file, you can now bring it into your Revit software or even BlueBeam software for estimation. Do you understand? So this IFC file is like the standard that every BIM software has to incorporate. Okay. And next part is link CAD. You can link your AutoCAD files also. And you link topography information. If you have permission from Autodesk Civil 3D, that Autodesk Civil 3D is a mapping software that allows engineers to pick the direct satellite information of a particular site and bring it into the model. That's what many civil engineers use for bridge design, heavy engineering design, and all of that, even real construction design, where they bring what is going on, the real topography of a particular site, they'll bring it into the Revit software before they'll start their design. So it's a very powerful software. Then DWF markups, that's a version of AutoCAD also. Then decal is image browse. You can always link that. Then you can also import from Point Cloud. Also, that's the cloud of Autodesk Cloud space. That's Point Cloud. And you can link a coordination model. That's the Navisworks document or Navisworks file. Okay, so once you have a model that's been saved on Navisworks documents or Navisworks cache file, you can now link it up into your Revit model. So models created on Navisworks are called coordination models. Do you understand? You can take that down. You can link PDF files, you can link image, then you can also manage the links. Now, on this manage links here, you will see the links for all the files that you loaded in here. So once you see when I click on this manage link here, it gave me this dialog box. Now with this dialog box here, I can see the link, the model I linked in now, which is this Revit file. So I can reload it, unload, or make some other adjustments, but that's a more advanced section. Then IFC files also, you can also do that, CAD files, DWF files. So all of that, you can always load them in and make adjustments to them. And we have the next aspect, which is imports. Now, under this import, you can import CAD file, you can import GBXML, you can import PDF, and you can import image. Now, let me explain the difference between link and import. In older version, you were able to import Revit also and import IFC. But now those feature options has been removed. Okay. When you link a model, it is a live model. That means the architect or the engineer can go into the model from his own end, make adjustments. Now, once an adjustment is made on that model, once you open up Revit software, Revit will tell you an adjustment has been made on the model. For example, after you've done your quantity takeoff or your quantity extraction from Revit software and all of that, then there is a change in design or an adjustment has been made on the 3D model by the design team. Instead of you to now go back and start your quantification process right from the beginning again, what you do at this stage is you reload. Once you open up the Revit software, it tells you adjustment has been made. You just reload it. Once you reload it, it will update all your quantities immediately without any stress. So that is what link is about. Linking files is linking a live model into your software. While for imports, once you import a file into Revit software, it's dead. The meaning is, even if the original file is being adjusted or modifications are being made on the original files, you won't be able to get an update when the design team makes any adjustments to the design. I hope you are following. That way, you are not, it's just dead. It's just on your system. It's on your local storage. That is why it's really advisable that for an organization or for a person to be BIM compliant, to be able to work in a collaborative system, always try and link your files, not import your files. Now, load from library. You can either load families. Those are components. Like I explained yesterday, what families are: the doors, the windows, the roof, the table, the chairs, and all of that. You can load those families into the software. You can load from Autodesk Cloud. For those that are on the actual version or the full version, you can just click this and to open up Autodesk Cloud for you. For those that has the full version of the software. Then you can load as a group that has different components coming in together. Then you can insert from files also. Those are from your 2D sheets or schedule sheets, your drafting views, and all of that. Those are for project information. Okay. Now the next part here is annotate. Annotate tab also is a very important tab also that you would make use of on the software. Okay. Now next annotate tab, we have the first ribbon here, which is dimension. Under this dimension here, we have the align dimension, linear, angular, as the name implies. They are for various types of dimensions. For those that have used AutoCAD before, I'm sure you should be familiar with this. Now, spot elevation. If you want to calculate level of a particular surface from the ground level, that's from the zero level, natural ground level, you might have designs where you have undulating floors, where the first maybe it's the living room area is at the normal 150 slab level, while the interior, that's the bedroom and all of that, are a little bit elevated to like maybe 300 or 350. That means that's affected the thickness at that point in time. So you can just use it to just go through. Once you click on it, then it will give you the feature. Once you just check, like for this year, see my walls and all of that. So once you click on it, you can get the spot height for this building or this elements. Okay, that's just about spots. Then the coordinate also, just to get the spot coordinate, same works the same way as elevation. Then you can get the slope, alignment, and all of that. Now for details, also, if you want to give instructions or notes, you can use this detail line here also. Once you click on this detail line, designers use it for giving annotations. By the time we start making use of all of this, you'll see. You can just do like draw a bit of arrow like this. That would like, I don't know, once you do that, just press escape to cancel. You can also type a text here, and give the instruction you want to give about that particular surface to either the design team or anyone that has to do with that particular aspect, even the client also. They have region. This region is to shade a particular region. So if you click on this region here and click on this draw icon, so once you click on any of these tools, it gives us a different page entirely, which will still come to, but I just want to quickly do a run through on some of the things you can do with this. So you can just click on this rectangle here. Let's want to give information about this region here. I'll just click the first end and the second end of the rectangle, which is here. Once I do that, just click OK. And see it's filled already. It has this here. Now with this, once you fill it, you can just give a text, come down to text here. I said I send that details. Yeah, just type a text and give the instruction about that particular spot or space. Then we have the next tab here, which is text. Revision Cloud also is just the same as giving instructions. The model group, the installation is used by design team, really mechanical team, to give installation designs on the sections and all of that. Now text, quickly type on your 2D view or something. Once you just click on this text here. Okay, once you click on it, gives you this new cursor. You see the cursor has a sign, that's the text cursor. You can just click on the surface where you want to type and just type closed area. So when this is off, just press enter and escape. Yes. So see this here, once any other person in your project team or design team opens this up, say, oh, you've given an instruction, this area is closed or something. So that is one of the advantage of this detail annotates space here. You can always verify your spellings, word check, find and replace, and all of that. Just that same basic tools that Microsoft Word does, all of that has been integrated into Revit software also. They can tag your models, tag by categories, and all of that. So by the time we go into further designs, like we do our complete simple design by before the end of today, you would see more of what this entails. Now come down to analyze. The analyze aspect is used by structural designs, quantity surveyors, sustainability engineers, and all of that. And we're all going to make sure this analyze ribbon. Now you see the first ribbon here, which is structural analytical model. This is for structural analysis. The next one, space and zone for mechanical engineers. Report and schedule for quantity surveyors and cost engineers. Okay, then check systems, that's for the system engineers, MEP engineers. Then the color field also, that's for the design team. Then energy optimization for the sustainability engineers. and also the system engineers. This is what will help them to design the duct system. Okay, when you're carrying out MEP designs and all that, the principles, what will guide you in creating the air terminals and all of that is based on this energy model here. That's under energy optimization. Electrical analysis also, then part of travel for the design team. The next tab we have here also is the massing and site. Now for massing and site, like I said yesterday, just to give a concept of what you want to design, conceptual mass. See those funny looking buildings that has very complex design, complex shape, and all of that. All of that were achieved all because the design team were able to design conceptual mass. It is now from this conceptual mass that they had the other features of the particular design they intend to go about. As the floor, they can, after you've done the conceptual mass, you can now model by face. That's how your walls, your floors, your roof, and curtain walls. Just place it on the model that you try to design, and that is it. From there, they start doing the interior partition and all of that. Now, model sites. This is one of the first things you do once you get your design. If you have to, like after getting your brief, if you have to do a design, you have to try and model the site and all of that. So you have the topo surface, that's the site surface, site components like trees, chairs, and all of that. Parking components also. Then modify site, so you have a property line, that's your boundary. Now collaborate. Like I said, Revit is one of the most powerful BIM tools. One of the major reasons is because of these collaboration features that it has here. Now, someone asked a question yesterday about how do you know who made adjustments to your model? How do you know who made adjustments to your model? How do you know who is working on that particular model and all of that? Now we have under this collaborate, we have on communicate. Now this is not a shared model. That is why this tab is inactive. For shared models, the communicate tab is always active, where you can now send your editing request to your BIM manager. Now there's a difference between a project manager and a BIM manager. They are two different people. A BIM manager, let me quickly check this in, is someone that manages all the designs and models on the construction project. Manage information that has been created by every construction professional on that project. He's the one that coordinates, that checks. It's like the check and balance. Okay. So you can send requests to the BIM manager. That once he grants your request, can now allow you to edit what he wants you to edit. So it's not like I can just come in and just start changing things anyhow. There is someone to manage that. Now the next aspect, which is manage collaboration. So we have to collaborate here. That's to bring in your work team. Once you click on this collaborate feature, that's going to make your model a shared model. You see, the model is not saved, so I have to save the model. Let me quickly save what we're trying to work on. Let me save the model. I'm trying to open this back up.
Okay. While we are waiting for the question, for the file to open, if you have any question, you can still ask the question so that we will continue from there. Please, Kasim, just hold on a minute.
No problem.
I have QS Okechukwu Victoria. You raised your hand. You might proceed to ask your question if you have a question. Otherwise, we'll move over to QS Adegoke Akin. All right, QS Kasim, you can continue with the training, please.
Okay, sir. Taking a second to move on.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Okay. This training we are into now, is it possible for a quantity surveyor, after maybe an architect send a particular drawings, can he readjust a drawing for an architect?
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Adekoke, for that question.
Yes,
It
sir.
is very important that they, in professional situation or professional environment, it is not proper for the cost engineer to adjust a shared model. Do you understand? You have
Okay,
to
sir.
send your request to the BIM manager on that project. So it's now the BIM manager that will send your query request to the architect or structural engineer to make adjustments to the model.
Okay, sir.
So in a professional settings, there is usually a BIM manager where someone that you report to that, okay, this is so thing has happened from the design team that you want them to make adjustments or to correct. But in an unprofessional manner or in an unprofessional environment, if you know how to do that, you can just quickly make adjustments. So the architect himself will get the information from his end. That is if it's a shared or a collaborative model. You can just quickly make the adjustments and inform the architect. But in a professional situation, there's a BIM manager that will handle all of that. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Oh, sir, you're welcome. Yeah, when the design team, that is like the architect or the structural engineer or the mechanical engineering team or system design team, you have to make, once the model has been shared, it is the BIM manager that is handling all of the information on that project. He is the information model manager. So you can't just, architect can't just come in to just make adjustments anyhow. It will affect everybody in the design team or in the entire construction project team. So it is now the BIM manager. The architect also would have to meet up with the BIM manager or send a query request to the BIM manager that he wants to make adjustments on the particular design. So that way, once the architect makes the adjustments, the BIM manager sends to the entire team that, okay, an adjustment has been made by the architect. So once the adjustment has been made, then you can now move into that. Let's proceed. Now, I said I want to save this. Let's just save this file as NIQS training. NIQS FCT. Okay, so just save the file. And Revit is a very heavy software, so it takes a bit of time to load some features.
Somebody actually asked a question that is very interesting that we note also. And that question is like this. He said his organization is using Microsoft Office 365. And he's asking, when somebody is doing collaboration in Revit, whether the person can also have access to it in Microsoft collaboration tool. Please, it's important to point out that almost most of these tools have their collaborative cycle. And those cycles are not overlapping. When you're collaborating in Microsoft Word or Microsoft cycle, it is different from the collaboration in other application spaces. So the collaboration cycles are not overlapping. They are actually disconnected because the applications are not the same and are not doing the same function. All right, for all the persons that are asking if the application, this is being recorded, yes, the section is being recorded. And at the end, hopefully before the next section, all the recordings for this, what we had yesterday and today will be available. So you can always preview. Please.
Okay, sorry for the break in transmission. I have some phone network issues. Now, we were discussing the collaborate section before the break, and once we clicked on the collaborate button, we had to save the model. And after you saved your model, you had this option that came up. Now, we have the question, how would you like to collaborate? Is it within your network or in the cloud? Now, within your network is for organizations that are using a LAN network. That's a local area network. So everyone that is connected to that your company's Wi-Fi, everyone would get to see that model on their Revit platform. That is within the network. While within the cloud is if you have a situation where the architects or the QS or any other person are not within that office environment on that internet or that network, then you can now share on the cloud and the link will be generated for you to share your models with them. Okay, so those are the two methods of like making your models BIM compliant or creating a collaborative system for you to work with. So if you have within your cloud, just click this, or within your network rather, then next, and to give you the next prompt. That it will be more of security features about the project. So once you just fill all of that in, down here, once it's enabled on your project, you are good to go. Now you see this sheet now, it is no longer a dead model. It is a model. Now you see this now, it's no longer a dead model. It's now a model that can be synchronized across everyone within that network. Okay, now you can collaborate. Now it's currently collaborated locally. Now you can now see this edit request. It is now active. Initially it was grayed out, but now this is active because this model is now being shared. Then you can now move this to the cloud if you want to move to the cloud. Then you have your work set. Now you see this edit request here. If you are the BIM manager, once you click on edit request, you would see all the pending requests on that project. So you can either grant the request to make those adjustments or deny. As I'm saying, you are like the check and balance at this stage. Okay, then close. I have the next one here, which is worksheets. Now that is worksheets here, we have this sheet we are working with there. Owner is me. This is my your Autodesk user ID. This is what you're seeing here. So visible in all view and all of that. So we have several worksheets. You can share your grids for structural engineers. Just share your grids to them. You can share your families also. That's the families. You see all the families inside the project. Then you can share your views also. So you can pick what you want to share to everyone. So once you click on this, then you can share it. Now, once you just click this, you have the elevation, all the views, elevation down to floor plan, 3D views, and all of that. They are all here. And the owner, that is the architect or who created them. And they are all opened. Do you understand? Now, that's how to share. Just click OK. And you know this information is being shared amongst everyone on that local network. Do you understand? Now we have this small drop-down icon here, which show work sharing, make editable controls. So once you click on this, once you turn this on, you know your project is being shared amongst everyone within your local network. While for cloud network, it will give you a link. Once you send the link to every other person, they download and use for the analysis also for their design. That's for cloud. Now, this is the central model. That is why this synchronize with center and reload latest is grayed out. Now, if you are on the other side, that's the receiving end, where the BIM manager or the architect has shared a model link to you. Once you do your own analysis, that's you create your own 5D design on the sheets here, you can now synchronize with central. That means the entire design of the model you worked with, once you synchronize with the central, you have updated everyone that you've done your own parts as the 4D or 5D professional there. Then you can reload the latest. If there's an adjustment made, you reload the latest file. Then you that are the one sharing, you have to relinquish all mine. And if you want to relinquish the ownership, well, I'm sure you want to do that. Now, work sharing monitor allows you to check what is being shared. Okay, so when you click on this work sharing monitor, if you are the one that received a linked model or a shared model, can now monitor what is being shared with you, the worksheets and all of that is being shared, which I explained earlier under the manage collaboration, where currently we are sharing the views. It's because I'm the one sharing all of this information. Like I'm like the central model at this point. That is why I can't see the details here. But for those that are receiving on the receiving end, we'll see what is being shared to them to work with. Now, the next part is show history. Like I said yesterday, you see the history of adjustments that has been made. Okay. Now you see the history of adjustment that has been made on that your cloud file. So click on this show history. It will request for you to open up the model. So click on the model to show you the entire changes by which person. So every computer has their own name, like I said yesterday. So you'd see, oh, this person is the one that changed at also date and time. Then as a BIM manager, you can just create backup and all of that. It's a very wide experience, very wide experience. They can always publish your settings to the entire team. The other coordinates here can copy, monitor, you can monitor your project, coordinate settings and all of that. So all of this are under coordination setting. So as a BIM compliant professional, you should be able to have in-depth knowledge, but time will not allow us to be able to go in-depth into what we have here because we have so many things to cover up. But you will be able to have in-depth knowledge on how to use all of these collaborative features, setting up the cloud set features and all of that within your workspace. It makes your work very, very easy. Like very, very easy. You don't have to stress about calling the architect all the time to send the drawings to the drawings and all of that. Okay. So you as a quantity surveyor, your work is easier at this stage. And let's move to the next part, which is view. Under this view, basically how to set your view. We are going into design. You have the view template, under graphics, how the view looks like and all of that. Then presentation, that's the 3D rendering and all of that. Under this create, you can create your own 3D view, sections, callouts, plan, elevation, duplicate, legends, schedules, all of that are all be created under these views. You can create your various forms of view, your drafting view, that's for sketch. You can duplicate your existing views also. Then for sheet composition, create your sheets that you want to compile for documentation, I want to print out and all of that. And we have windows here, we have various tabs and the user interface itself. Now come down to manage, which is the next tab here. And under this manage, we have the settings. This is basically used by the design team to set the materials, the object styles, the project information. If you want to check the project information, just click on this. You can set the organization name, that is your company's name, the description of your company, the client, and the building name, that's proposed residential building. Who is the author? That's the architect. Okay. Then IFC parameters. This is when you are sharing across various softwares also. You can input the GUID information also. Route analysis settings, the project, the dates the project was issued, project status, either completed or ongoing or at design stage, you can always input that. The address, the project name, and the project number. So all of that has to do with project information. Input all of this here, click OK. So your project don't just have a saved file here, it's the name of here, but has all of the project information and parameters inside it. It's very well, like this is a new innovation. It's not, you don't just have to go through the boring aspect anymore, but you have to, like design team has to give information rich model. You understand the definition of BIM today? Process of building an information rich model, not just design randomly. Help you understand. Now we have the project parameters, the shared parameters, and global parameters. Now, shared parameters are the parameters that you are sharing with other design team members or other members of the project team. Then global parameters are parameter that you can get from the website or from the IoT, Internet of Things there. Okay, that is where you get the global parameters features. Then you can always transfer your project standard. If you have a new project and you just want to transfer the standards you used on this project to a new project, and just transfer it here. Then you move to unused items to make your project light, and set your project units. With this here, once you click on project units, this is another important part for QS. You can change from, this is the common unit, that's common parameters here. Once you click on this angle, you can now change, either you're using degrees, radians, on all of that. Yeah. Now for cost per area, yeah, this cost per square meter, you can always change it to cost per square feet also. Number of decimal place to decimal place. Okay, then the symbol dollar per square meter. Or if you don't have the dollar sign plus naira, by the time we just start doing our 5D design in-depth, you would see how to do all of that. Okay, so this is how to change the project's unit. If you received your project in meter and feet, let's say for example the design team or something designed and used feet, and you got confused when you opened the project on Revit. So usually conversion and conversion, just after this, come to the project unit, under manage tab, project units, then change the length, just change to meters to decimal place. You will now have a design that you are more familiar with. Okay. So that's for project units. Structural settings for structural engineering work, MEP settings, panel schedule settings for electrical panels, then other settings. Now a project location also. Now another advantage of Revit 2023 and 2022 upwards is that you get live information about the site parameters, the site features, what is going on that site at that particular point in time, what text to satellite imagery and all of that. So once you are creating a design or creating a project, you get the in-depth location details, the most recent information about that particular environment, the weather details, the site condition, the floor condition, everything you get from the location details. So you can either type in the coordinates also, or type in the coordinates, it will take you there immediately. Then the next part is position also. And let's move to the next part here, which is the design options. And this is usually used by the design team to make adjustments to your designs and all of that. Then generative designs, that's for advanced designs and all of that. We have the manage projects, so you can manage your project links, the decal types and all of that. So this is basically used by design team, then programming team also. Then add-on, if you have add-on installed also, like you have various add-on that can help you make your work easier and smarter. Okay, so we have various add-on developed by various developers. You can always purchase those add-on or get them for your organization. This is Autodesk Point. This is an add-on here. Autodesk Point Local and Green Egg. These are various add-on for this Green Egg is for analyzing sites and giving the live information of those sites on my 3D model. Then the modifier ribbon here is to make adjustments to the model. By the time you start working, you would see how that works. So basically, that is the quick run through about the project information. Okay. Now we move to the next aspect, which is the properties panel. I explained how we got about this view yesterday. On the properties panel, which is on the left-hand side here, this is the properties of anything you are seeing currently on your screen, or any item that you select on your screen, you see the properties. Now, this is the default screen view. So we have the floor plan level 1. That's the view we are looking at here. The scale of this page, the display type, detailing information, the visibility, and all of that. So all of this are usually set by the design team. Okay. Now, we will select any of this. If you want to select this, it changes. It's telling us we have the linked model here. If I select this spot elevation, it tells us we have spot elevation selected. Okay, then we select this field region also. It's telling us that we have information about the field region. Now we have the next part here, which is tab. These are tabs of views that are open on your project. Okay, that's the tab aspect. And this space we have here is the workspace. This is where the project actually occurs. Everything you're doing, your design, analysis, and everything happens at this middle here. That's the workspace. That is for the central aspect here. Then we have the next part here, which is the project browser. Now, this project browser allows you to get all the views on your project. Okay, all the views that has to do with your project. That's what you see on this project browser aspect here. So that views, yeah, the first part we have is the floor plan. Now, after this floor plan, we have the ceiling plan, we have the elevations. Yeah, all of these are under this view. Okay, now on the floor plan, we have the first part, which is level 1. That's the initial level, then level 2. And for you to get to any of these views, all you just have to do is double click. I double click, you see I have level 1 tab open, level 2 tab open. Okay, now we have the next one, site view. If I just double click on this, I have my site view now. Okay, so I have my level 1, level 2, and my site. Now, under this site, I would like to call our attention to something. See this small box here, this icon here. This is called the spots information. That's topography information, coordinates. Okay, this is, you can just set your project coordinates, north, south, east, west, elevation from the natural ground level. Then is it true north, or is it building angled around the true north region and all of that? Once you set all of this based on your survey plan, that's your survey information. Once you just type all of this here, you can easily get the view live views of how your project is going to look like. Okay. Now we have the ceiling plan also, level 1 and level 2 for ceiling plan. Then under elevations, we have the 4 elevations here, which is the east elevation, the north elevation, south and west. Now, you see these icons here on your plan. That's on your workspace here. You have 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, this is the first elevation here. The south elevation here. Then your east, west, and your east. Those are your 4 coordinates, and those are your 4 elevation views. Now, always try and make sure that when you are designing, your design has to be at the middle, that's within all of these views. So you'll be able to capture all of the elevation easily. See, if I come down to east, just double click. You see, this is my east. This is the linked model. Do you understand? So this is my east elevation, north elevation, south, and west. So that are the 4 coordinates. So we have the north, south, west, and east. Okay. Now under this here, I want us to see something here. Another advantage of this tab system is you can easily left click, drag, and pull out a tab. I see it's like a window on its own here. So for those of us that are using multi-screen setup to work, this is what you would use even when you start doing 2D takeoff with Plan Swift and others, even if you're using a multi-screen because of eyes or to reduce the workload or get more level of information, and easily drag this new window to the next screen. So once you're doing something on this screen here, it is updating on the other screens also. That is like the beauty. So you just have to do is click on these tabs and drag it out. Then if you are not using any of them, you can just close the tabs. Okay, because if you have too much open tabs, it may slow down your system also. Now we have the next part, which is legends. Now under this legends here, this is where you see all of the legend information has been created. Schedule and quantities, our field. After you've done the design and everything, you can just create all of your quantities, all the quantities they call for every element in the building. You'd see all of that under this schedule and quantities here. Then sheets for documentation. Families, all families have been created. You see, Revit by default has thousands of families, like thousands. So don't be surprised that this software is worth over 13 gig. The families there are so enormous. They're much. It's a very strong software that has so many features for everyone. Then we have groups. We have the model group or the detail groups. And also we have the Revit link. Now let's quickly do a quick practical here. You see this design, this is design option cherry 001. Now this, I want to quickly make an adjustment to this here. So I just use right click, then open. Let me just open this. It's not a collaborative model. I want to show you that once an adjustment is made under these Revit links, it would show you something. Now we have this here. Now, this is the model itself. You see, we can select any of the components. Let me just try and adjust this here. Then just press Ctrl S. That's to save. Yes. Okay. Once you've saved that, just close. Then you come back to your model that you're working on before. That's the collaborative model we're working with. See, we have X. This X means there's something wrong. It's closed already. Okay. Or just use right click and reload. Once you reload like that, it brings the model back. Okay. So in case you have a situation where you are actually trying to work, or you worked on a project or a model and you can't like unload, or you opened your file and you realize that you could not find the link to model, all you just have to do is come back to Revit links here and reload it, and it comes back to you here. Okay, so that is all about the features of the Revit platform, which is the second stage of our part 1 lecture as stated yesterday. So any question on this part before we move to the third stage, which is the simple 3D design?
Thank you so much. I think we've got some reactions based on what you have talked about so far. And I would like you to listen to them and know what you can say about that. The first one is from Emmanuel Ayodele. He says, okay, kindly expatiate the innovation of BIM. The innovation of BIM is to aid professionals to work smarter. But what should a contractor QS do in the scenario where a set of design, that is drawing in question, received by the designer to be worked on misses several informations, and yet there is a timeline for the QS to make submission for tendering purpose? What should the quantity surveyor do in such case? Also, we have from Aliu Usman. He said, as a BIM manager in a construction team, how will you know a request for adjustment has been sent to you by one of your team members? Also, okay, Victoria Adeleke sent him one saying, please, I do not see collaboration in cloud and work sharing monitor on my page. And we also have one who is encouraging us to see, who is still expectant to see more practical, says, that is from Fasamoye Joy. Said, good morning, sir. The explanation is good, but let's have practical examples using a complete drawing. Since as we quantity surveyors, all we are after is accurate quantities. Thanks. And then the last one that we'll take for now says, I don't have any of the materials, whether email or WhatsApp. I have not been added to WhatsApp of payment, email, and NI with other things, while as the training is on course. The essence of this training is for us to be impacted by it. It is not just for you to come and gain CPD points. So thank you, QS. Kazim, you have the floor. You can address some of the questions that have been raised. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Now, the idea of BIM, as said by Mr. Emmanuel, for a QS, you work with the information provided. So in a scenario where the drawing you received from the design team has information that is missing, you send query. So at that point, it is not your fault. It is the design team's fault. So even though you have a timeline for submission of tender, the design team is supposed to prepare a detailed and accurate level of information for you to work with for your tender purpose. Let's take, for example, while you receive the normal, let's go back to traditional method. For example, you receive the normal drawing information and you were asked to prepare a bill, and maybe the design was supposed to be 15-story building from the brief, and design team sends 10-story buildings. That's like 5 floors are missing already. At that stage, it won't be your fault as a QS for preparing an inaccurate or an incomplete tender information. Do you understand? Because at this stage, it is now the design team that has the fault. So that's why you send queries to them to make adjustments as soon as possible. Okay. Now, as a BIM manager, the second question that I said, how do you make requests for adjustments, or how do you know the request of adjustment that is sent? There is email notification. There is system notification. Okay, so you received your email through your mail immediately. You get the email once you turn on your notification. That is always advisable as human beings in a digital system. Always check your mail every morning. That should be like the first thing you do, and in the evening also. Then check your mail regularly, because very important information will be sent to you via email, and always make sure your notification is turned on. So once your notification is turned on, you would get your mail immediately. For those that do not see collaboration in cloud or work sharing on their system, please, all you have to do is get a recent version of the software. If you're using a very recent version of the software, you will see all of that. But if you're using an old version, you won't see most of these features. That's why it's advisable to use the version we're using here, that is Revit 2023. Yeah, we would still get to explain the examples for the last the second to the last question. We've not gotten to the practical aspect of 5D design. Like I said yesterday, we are still moving from 3D to 4D and 5D, which I'm taking the 3D aspect today. That's the 3D design. The person taking to Primavera takes the 4D design. Then I'll come back also for the advanced Revit aspects to take the 5D design. So it's a process. It is not just nothing coming out of the random space like that. But you have to understand what you can do before jumping into this thing. Okay, so we are still at the 3D stage, which we'll quickly look at very soon. Okay, so that will be all for the questions section. Now for this, let me unlink this model here, because we won't be making use of this. Click on the model, unload, remove, Okay. Okay. So we no longer have this anymore. Yeah. Now, for you to prepare your design, the first things you have to do, that's like our checklist. First, you come to the elevation. Now, under this east elevation, I'm sure many of us will have this in millimeters. Let me come back to what everyone would have, which is in millimeters. So I'll come to manage here, project units, then length, reset to millimeters, 0 decimal place. Okay. This is what everyone should see on their elevations. Now, at this stage, you have to set your levels, your natural ground level, your roof level. It's a simple bungalow design you would have to want to go about or you want to design here. So you click on level 1 here. Once you click twice, you to highlight this. I can just change the name to O1, not ground floor level. Then the next part here is click here, O2 dot roof level. Now you see, once this is here, you see we have the plan name has changed. Also, the ceiling plan has changed. Now for your height here, you change this from 4,000. Just click on this 4,000 here and change it to 3,000. That's 3 meters. Okay. Now that is like the first thing you do. Now coming down to your design here, come to the ground floor level here. Let me delete all of this that we did earlier. I'll just highlight and delete. Now on the ground floor level, come to architecture. We want to create a simple 2-bedroom bungalow building. Very simple. No stress at all. Come down to walls here. Now that is walls, once you click on that walls, it activates another set of tools for you. Okay. Now under this here, we have the forms of wall. You can draw use the line tool to draw a straight lined wall, and draw a wall from square or from the polygon shape, or from a circumscribed polygon, circular, arc wall, 2-point arc wall, and spline wall with lines and all of that. So you have various forms which you can able to draw our walls. So be using the line format here, that's the line system to draw the walls. Now that modify or place wall. Now the height of the wall. Now make sure the height is by default is unconnected. You change this to the roof level. So the wall is coming from the ground floor level up to the roof level. Okay, so you ignore the value you see here. And the location line is center line. That's the wall center line. Okay. Then chain is for continuous wall, which is what we are designing for. So you make sure this chain is turned on here. Okay. Then offset is 0. Then leave this as it is. Joint status, make sure you allow join. So you leave all of this. Just change the height here. Now under properties here, like I told you, that properties has to do with what you selected at that particular point in time. Okay. So under properties here, under the basic wall, okay, you have the generic 200 watt, which is what is selected by default. But yeah, you have other wall types here. Okay. Now for this here, we have the CW wall. That's stacked wall, various forms of stacked wall, yeah, with various size. Then we have the exterior wall, that's block or stud. Then another version of exterior wall with very thickness. Then render on brick or render on block, also is a form of wall. So these are stacked wall. Those are complex types of wall. We have the foundation wall, the generic brick wall, masonry wall, and all of that. So during your own personal practice, you can just explore of this wall type. But for this session, we make use of the generic 200 wall. For our exterior wall, which is 2 to 5, that's 9-inch wall. Let's make use of the masonry first, as the 2 to 5 masonry wall. This what we have here is what we've set up here also. Now, this is our workspace here. I told you we are working in the middle. So all you do is click on the first point, then just drag like this. We'll adjust the dimensions later. We also have to just have the layout of what we want to design. Okay, so let's do a quick cut here. Don't mind my design, just something simple, just for you to just understand the concept. So what you just do is you just click on each of these walls to make adjustments. You see, I used it to 5 for interior walls, but I would come back to show you how to edit that. Yeah. Now for this here, the exterior walls now is 2 to 5 masonry walls. That's the thickness of all of these walls you are seeing here. For the interior, it is supposed to be 150 generic wall. I'll click on this wall again and click on walls. You can see once click on walls here, you click on this basic wall and you come down to then change the name here to generic 150 mm. So that is the name of this wall here. Then come down to edit. Then the thickness, you see this here is the thickness you just want to change here. So you change this thickness to 150. Then click on OK. Now you have this here. Then click OK. Now with this here, you can now click on the next point, which is from this point down here. Just once you want to click on the first point and click on the second point, it stops automatically. If you click on the first point, something like this, and you click here and it continues and you want it to stop, all you just do is right click, cancel. Can you see that? You right click and cancel. And let's say you are done with everything, you just right click again and cancel. So that shows that you are done. When you see this interior walls here, we have the mixture of 2 to 5 and 150. But I want to make sure all my interior walls are 150 walls. So I'll highlight the ones that are 2 to 5, which is this ones here. Once I highlight it, I can now change my score up. You see it's 150 mm. The 150 mm wall created. Then also this, you highlight this also. Then you change this to 150 mm walls. So that is how you go about that. So this is usually based on your idea or your sketch that you want to produce or you want to bring to life. Okay, once you click on this, you can now adjust here. Click on this, then adjust here. So we have the simple interior view dimension. Now, see these walls here, they are too big. We don't even know the dimensions. We just cut randomly to achieve what we have here. Now, for us to manage or create something that is more mature than this, we have to adjust what you have here. Now, for us to do that, you can now come to the annotate, then aligned dimension. Under dimensions here, aligned. Now you pick. Once you click on that, it gave you this dialog here. And you see this part here. This area here is what it gave you. Now what you do is you select the wall center line and change this to wall face. And that way to allow you to select the wall faces. So you pick from, just click, let's click once, then the next point, then the next part of the wall, then this. Okay. So I just quickly pick. So once you are on the face of the wall, it gives you a blue highlight. Can you see the blue highlight there? That shows that you selected the faces of those walls. And just quickly use this to adjust. So this is the very fast way to just go about your design, simple design. let's say you made a mistake like this and you want to make adjustments, and just adjust it here. All right, click then cancel. So you click from this point here down to this point. Once you select all of this here, then this point, then select. Okay, now this stage here, you added dimensions to all of your building models here. Okay, now once you've added all of this here, you can now make adjustments and edits. Okay, now our rooms had to be 3 meters by 3 meters. Yeah, so you see this here, this is supposed to be like the master's bedroom, which is according at 9 meters here. So you select this and you change. Now you see, once you select any of the walls, this dimension becomes blue now. Okay, so you can easily pick any of these values here and you change this. So let's say 3, 6. Another principle is, if you are adjusting from the left, make sure all your edit goes to the left. And you're adjusting from the right, make sure your edit goes towards the right. I hope you understand. Just take note of that. We'll come to the next part here. Would adjust, this is like the toilet. You can just make this as 1,800. Okay. Then you come down here also. Let's say we have another bedroom here also at 3,600. Yeah, on joint elements. See this here, this is because we had 2 different walls together here. That's why you had this. Now, that's for the first one. Now we adjust the internal walls also. This is the bedroom, so this can be like the kind of lobby, the kitchen, then sitting area. So adjust this to 500. Okay. Then change this here also. So 4,200. Can you see it is taking a little bit of shape right now? No, we don't have vertical dimensions here, so just come down to annotate, aligned. Let me pick. Once you've selected all of this here, then once you pick on this here, you can change this also to 3,600. It gives you this notification here. Can you see this? Just unjoin. Don't worry about that, you will adjust it later on. Okay. Then for this aspect also, click on this. Then you adjust it to 1,800 also. Then this changes here. So let's say 2,700. See that one? You see it's now adjusted inside. So this is how you just do a simple adjustment till you have something that you need and you can work with. Then this should come up to like, let's say 2,100. See this wall here. I just adjust this to the back. But I just did I just picked the node here and I adjusted it. This is called node, this point here, and I dragged it back. Okay. Then I'll adjust this here. This is 30 meters, which is very big. Like 3,600 also. Enter. So let's see where I think our design is having shape now. See, it's now smaller and more reasonable than the way it was before. Now, once I'm done with this, that's the first field of dimension. I'll just click on any of the dimensions and I will right click, then select all instance in entire project. Then I'll delete it because that is like the initial dimension. Okay, so I have this room, my sitting room, kitchen, then a kind of lobby here. So this toilet is for this, while this is a general. It's just a very simple concept. Or you can always do yours. And the assignment for this session is for you to reproduce what you've learned, your own 3D design for your own concept. You have to reproduce it and submit via email. Okay, so that's the assignment. I'm giving the assignment ahead of time now. Okay. So once you're done with the first part, which is the dimensioning and all of that, we'll move to the next part here, which is addition of simple elements. Now, we want to add doors to our model. We're making use of the default door in the library. Okay, so click on door. Now, to click on door here, it gives you this. Now, under properties, also one more time, you would see that we now have doors to deal with. Initially, we had just walls to deal with, but now we are on doors, so it's giving us just doors to deal with. Now click on this drop down here. Okay. Now click on this drop down. We have various sizes of doors here. We have the 750 doors, the 800 and 915. But you see all of these doors, they are in feet, or we don't have the kind of door we need. A 750 by 2100 and a 900 by 2100 door. Okay, which we don't have here, right? Now what we do here is come to edit type. Under this edit type, you will duplicate. Once you duplicate, you have the door here. Okay, so once we have this here, that's 900 by 2100. Okay, now in millimeters, make sure it's in millimeters. Okay. The function of this door is to serve as interior doors first. Okay, just interior door panel frame. Now, under dimensions here, you come to the height here, then you change it to 2100. Then the width also should be 900. Then click on OK. Now, with this here, you can just add your doors. You see, there's something wrong with our design here, but we'll make adjustments to that very soon. So just add the doors here. That's the first door will be here. I just put the doors here and move this. So this will be the first door. Then the second door also will be here. Okay. As for the 900 door, then I can remove this wall here to make the space open. Just delete. Then I'll click on this, then adjust the node. Come back a bit for this point here. Okay, I think we're good with this here. Yeah. Then we need a 750 door also. So I'll click on door. I can see that once click on door, the properties changes to door here. Just click on edit type. Now with this here, I can now duplicate this and change the name to 750 by 2100. Remove this off. Okay. So I just change the thickness, the width rather at this stage. So 750. And okay. We have this here. Okay. Now, for this year, we need to add sliding doors, which we don't have by default. Okay. Now what we do is come back to doors. Now I have to load family this time around. See this load family that I've been seeing since, and this is how it works. Once click on load family, you'll be able to open up some or load some default families for this project. So I need a sliding door. So I have to check my library for a sliding door. The families that were used also on this project that are not available will be made available to you also via email for you to practice while you're practicing your own. Okay. So every family that was used for these projects that we are working on would be made available for you via email. When I come back to door, yeah. Okay. Now, once you open doors here, we look for the sliding door. Let me check where our sliding door here. Okay. Yeah, this is it. Door sliding. Okay. Then open up. Okay. So this is the model that is trying to upgrade itself. It's coming from I told you we upgrade it upscales, not downscales. So this family was created with Revit 2009. It's a very old family. So we are bringing it down to 2023. So even though your model was done with a very old version of the software, you can always upscale it. Okay.